So, hello, Aries, and welcome back to Divine Rebel. My name is Racy, and I'm going to be giving the messages for you today. These are for Aries suns and those with strong or significant Aries placements in their chart. So if you know what house Aries rules and what's in there, it could give you some specific insights into, a certain area of your life. For those of you not familiar with me or the channel, please know I have no filter. I don't sugarcoat my messages. I just read the way I read. So if that is not your thing, then, I'm very respectful of that. I just give you the opportunity to sign off now. Otherwise, we are getting into the month of December for Aryan energy. Now, the first card I pulled was from my Rainbow Warrior activation deck, and Pisces got the same card. The number 4 card is Alchemy. It's chemistry, partnership, fusion, magic, transmutation, and miracles. It says, alchemy is the ancient belief that one can turn base metals into gold or perhaps find an elixir of everlasting youth. In other words, it is the creation of a miracle containing the perfect combination of ingredients. Nowadays, you don't have to go far to find gold. Even the Earth's core has enough gold to cover its entire surface. Miracles, on the other hand, we recognize as a series of events or a process that we may not have been privy to otherwise, prior to witnessing the fantastic end result. Know that what you have in your life right now is the making of a miracle, and there is a broader dynamic at work that may not be possible to see from where you're standing. Stay present and know that all is well. All right, this is the part of the story where you are no longer the base metal pieces you once were that were of little value to you, and they're being put under extreme heat, right? Extreme heat and pressure to become something more refined, more valuable. You're shifting, right? You're shifting. It's like the caterpillar feeds the bird, but the butterfly goes around and pollinates things like bees do and feeds the world. You know what I mean? So it's turning into something much more beautiful. And this is the process of the in-between. All right, this is the process of the in-between. It's the chrysalis stage where you're kind of hidden within yourself and you're coming apart and you're going through that almost like defragging process, So the advice, the guidance card that comes out with it is card number 34. So you may be seeing 434 as a palindrome, right, as a synchronicity. And it's in the world, not of the world. And it says, it is safe for you to become naked with life. This doesn't necessarily mean stripping off and running wild in public. It does mean stripping back your beliefs, strongholds, and mental or emotional security blankets so that you can live with less obstruction than ever before. Imagine the conditioning that has kept life away from you. Just kept dropping it out of your hands like keys, coins, or time. Conditioned beliefs about money, time, security, having, locking away, holding, and controlling can be surrendered and allowed to fall away. What would it feel like? What would it be like to feel as though you were on a vacation every day? Perhaps there would be a softening in your way of life, an implicit trust in its flow, and a faith in the ability of time to bend and stretch as needed, so that all may be accomplished. It is at an advanced stage of your spiritual relationship with life that we are able to feel held within it sufficiently enough to surrender our defenses layer by layer and to nakedly accept what is. This oracle comes as a message to you. Sometimes we need our defenses, and at other times it is clear we are outgrowing them. There is something that you have outgrown, It has to do with your ideas about productivity, time, control, and money. It has to do with abundance, trust, and living with the fundamental belief that everything is going to turn out okay. This you have grown into, right? You are ready to be much more vulnerable and exposed in life. You don't have to hide behind being organized, perfect, or in control of everything. Nor do you need any other acceptable social face. It is time for you to loosen the strings of your own controlling nature, for they are too tight and too restrictive for you anyway. You were born to live in a much freer way. When you live as you innately are, rather than how you have been conditioned to be, you will experience greater joy, freedom, and support. When you are not resisting yourself or resisting life, there is less resisting what you need as it comes to you. I'm going to give you an example. Maybe this will ring a bell, or maybe you'll understand it better this way. It's like assuming, like when people interrupt other people, it's assuming you already know what they're going to say and their perspective about it in advance. You already know. When the reality, the face value reality of it, is that you don't know because you haven't actually listened to the whole sentence or thought through. You don't know where they were taking it. You don't know where they ended with a question mark and wanted your input. You don't know what they were actually going to say or how they feel about it in advance of them telling you. Right? It's an assuming energy. And when you assume, you respond with a controlled reaction. So let's just say someone is telling you about an incident with a person, and you already know how they feel about that person, and so you assume they're looking at it from a certain perspective of distaste or disdain. But maybe, just maybe, they're reminding you of how they felt about that person, and the incident they had today with them was completely different, and it made them look at them in a different way. You have no idea what they were going to say. But if you interrupt them and start making it sound like it's unimportant and you don't want to talk about it because you already know and blah, 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 and you just want to change the conversation, like your person's going to feel a little indignant. You know what I mean? Why were you protecting yourself from that conversation? Are you a friend of theirs? Are they related to you or tied to you in some way? That you don't like that these two people have a distaste for each other? Historically speaking, right? As you go back and experience, they have a history that's not good. Are you protecting yourself from feeling that hurt, that you would interrupt them and try and brush it off like it doesn't matter? That you wouldn't hear the improvement, trying to protect yourself from the reminder that maybe there was mistakes made? What is it? It's getting back with this in the world, not of the world. Like, you're in it. You're witnessing it. But you're not a part of it in the sense that you have to protect yourself from it. You don't have to protect yourself from the witnessing of life. You're protecting yourself if you're of the world and it can hurt you. This is a big perspective shift. Or guidance card, the best choice of action is choose love. You always have a choice as to what you should do. You always have a choice. Choose love. Choose to listen. Choose to witness the experience of love around you. Love is everywhere. Everything is a mirror for you. Every struggle someone's going through, you can help alleviate the mental stress of it. At the very least. Even if the seed's planted and they realize it's growing later. It's about being open and receptive to what your experience is showing to you. To allow you to be grateful you don't have those same issues. Or you're not going through that same process. Be compassionate for the process of whoever is in front of you in your mirror. They're going through a healing process in front of you. Whatever is coming out of their mouth, whatever their attention or focus is on, they're literally live in action going through a healing process in front of you. Are you also healing, or are you just witnessing the healing? Because if you're not healing, then you are healed already. You are either healing or you're healed. Think about this. The milestone is greed. Now, given there's money symbols on the card and chains, okay, so it could definitely be concerning money, fears you have about money, fears you have about living arrangements and relationship dynamics and dealing with financial aspects of it. Wanting more contribution, wanting more consideration for all that you put in to earn what you earn. Wanting more. It could also be more power, more control, more influence, more final say, more all riding on you. The more people are dependent on you. It could also be more love, more validation, more affection, more intimacy. Maybe your body hurts. You don't want to ask for a massage. Maybe you want them to just start rubbing your shoulders. You want more. You want more love than what someone's showing you. Someone just giving you time and conversation is a form of love. And if you're not looking at it that way and it's not counting, well, that's your fault. It's not their fault. They're still loving you. It's not their fault that you don't consider how they're loving you enough. That it doesn't count. You don't recognize or acknowledge that love language. Doesn't mean they ain't speaking it. Think about it. This is what Spirit is getting you towards, right? This is what Spirit is getting you towards, realizing that you have an abundance of love all around you. Everything you interact with is loving you. Whether it's the trees blowing through the wind and you're admiring their beauty in that moment, your experience witnessing life is loving you. People don't even have to be involved. Love is literally all around. Healing is all around. As we get into the actual tarot, the weeks, we have the King of Swords with the Five of Wands, the Spirit of Cups or the King of Cups, and then the Hanged Man and the Magician. And right off the bat, with overall energy, I feel like there's an inner conflict, a definite inner conflict between this King of Swords and King of Cups energy. The King of Swords, or the mind that doesn't want to see things differently, is not facing the King of Cups. But the King of Cups, who is emotionally mature, is still facing the King of Swords. Still extending love. Like, listen, there's a reason why you were seeing things the way you were before, and it was to get to this moment of emotional maturity about it. You could still see things and assume. It doesn't mean you have to be interruptive and possibly be, surprised. You might know 99 times out of 100 in advance. You're going to love and be compassionate and hold empathy for what you're witnessing healing around you regardless. But you might be surprised that one time out of 100. Someone might surprise you with their own growth, and you can admire the fact that you got to witness that too. It's an emotional maturity. So at the beginning of the month, I think you're looking at your past. I think you're assuming things. I think there are certain old ways of processing that you're starting to turn away from. I think this Five of Wands is the alchemy energy. It's the not wanting to be criticized or judge the self later. Wanting everybody to just improve the way you see them improving. See them letting go and not caring the way you think they should. It's about just letting that go. It's about letting that go. King of Cups energy that you're moving into come the third week of the month is strong and powerful. It's like remembering your ancient self. your old ability to love before you had all of these layers of information about pain and experience in your processing. It's like mental mapping. You know, one thought instantly leads into the other, and it's just out of habit of thought because of what was impressed upon your mind. And now it just constantly runs the same track. Well, what if you recreated a new track? What if you switch the tracks and let the thought train run in a different direction to get to the same destination, which is always the vision, the dream, the I wish life was like fantasy, the realistic one that we have for ourselves, might I add. The one we really do wish to come true in the long run. Seeing ourselves happy, seeing ourselves with stable partnerships, seeing ourselves in healthy relationships of equal give and take and understanding, where your partner's also a listener, an observer, a witnessing. That when you do go through things you don't understand, they can witness you and the healing you're going through and be the healed ripple for you. That it's okay to be that, you know, getting into that understanding where it's okay to be on both sides of the shoe. You don't always have to be the one teaching. You can be the student. That's the best part, because then you get to teach it later. What you learn, you can teach, but you can't learn if you aren't the student. So by the time we get to the end of the month, and you might be seeing 121 as another palindrome or synchronicity, this is the Hanged Man with the Magician. This is major arcana. This is the Hanged Man, you know, different perspective being achieved with the Magician, which is the magic of seeing what you're creating. Your ability to recognize your third eye can choose to create great experiences, welcomed experiences, joyful, blissful, peaceful experiences. You can unfold that in your vision by being in your best energy. You know what being in your best energy feels like, and it's going to start creating for you so that you know what that energy creates. You're going to actually see it. It's believing in this different perspective to shift your life and allowing yourself to see that. Knowing the transitions of perspective is necessary, just like knowing the chrysalis transition is necessary to reach the final stage and go on a completely different journey than the caterpillar would have ever taken. This is exactly what it is that you're moving through and accomplishing come the end of the year and moving into 2021. I think 2021, come this time next year, you're going to blow yourself away at how far you've come. Like, if you just look at where you are now compared to a year ago and how much has shifted and changed in you, you have no idea the beautiful changes you're going to see manifest come 2021 with this new perspective. You're the ultimate creator of your life. And it's starting to click. It's starting to click that you don't have to be how you've always been or all you've ever known, because you could be so much more evolved than that. I've got like a crazy horn going off in the background. Sounds like one of those like military horns of old that just like blare out to let everybody know like it's fucking on. That's literally what's going on. Like, your soul is ready to declare it's here. Like, it's game time. This is the part where you battle yourself and the victor is revealed. Versus old self versus new self. Like, the victor is revealed. A new self, it's like technology. It will always improve upon itself. It beats the old technology every time. You know, it's no different. The new self will always win. It's just you've just blown the horn, like it's ready to go to war with your old self and come out the victor, your new self. So, Aries, I hope this has helped you, and that I get to see you and serve you next year. So until next time, guys, love each other and most importantly, love yourselves. Take care.